said, he is not a Muslim. Anyone that does not respect other humanity is not a Muslim. And another quotation from the Quran says that anyone that saved the soul has saved the whole humanity. So we're here today, once again, to help ourselves and to help people in our community. But before moving on to today's program, normally what we do, and I beg your pardon, my colleagues from work, normally we do a little short recitation from the Holy Quran, because that is the book, that is the main theme, that is the main purpose of the book. And on this note, the reciter is not here. So sorry to say. And then I think I will call Mr. Abdulaziz to please come on and that's Surah to Yishurah. Alam Nashur Allah Masabir, and read it in the for us. Can we do that? Surah to Yishurah. Because that's going to be one of the focus for today's. Hi, Jason. Nice to see you. Yeah. How are you? I don't know. I dropped my phone somewhere. Thank you for coming. I'm pretty nice. How are you? Not bad, thank you.
Alam nashrah laka sadrak. Have we not caused your bosom to be wide open to you? And we removed from you your burden. Alladhi anqadha dhahrak, that had almost broken your back. وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ, and we raised your name high. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا, so undoubtedly, along with hardship there is ease. Inna ma'al usri yusra, undoubtedly, along with hardship there is ease. فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ, so when you are free, toil hard in worship. وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَب, and towards your Lord turn with eagerness. So this short recitation is basically just like an emphasis point on after difficulty, there's ease. So when you've got good times, be grateful and be thankful. And when difficult times are happening, just keep persevering because they'll be over soon enough. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next one is going to be a little bit of what Across Ummah has been doing. What is our focus? What is it? Across Ummah was founded in September 2017, and the main focus is to help to reduce substance misuse, especially among our youth and in family settings, and to reduce crises within the family settings. Because in most cases, what I found and I realized, and the main motive of the narrative, while I was doing my master's, I realized that substance misuse has ruined so many lives, has ruined so many families. Why? Because you see that some using drugs and things like that leads to dependency, and dependency invariably leads to addiction to some people. And some people, I realized they started using drugs while they were in secondary school, and once they are stuck in the process like that, it's really difficult for them to get out of the that routine. So invariably, it has led to destruction of so many lives, so many families. And another way is that we see some families that are having crises, that are having difficulties, and what they believe is that okay, you know what? Let me rely on drugs. Let me take a dose. Let me take a booze and things like that. And invariably, it leads them to addiction, whereby it's really difficult for them to get out of the shackles. So, what we do in Across Ummah is to try to find ways of mitigating substance misuse. How? By creating awareness, by promoting peace and stability in the family, by talking to parents, by talking to children, how we can meet in the central point, whereby we can address issues, differences within our family. And also, we've been able to organize so many lectures, so many workshops, and then, especially in COVID, the rate of domestic violence really spiraled. And not only that, you see people, when you go to the supermarket, maybe it's only me, instead of people to buy water, well, they will buy alcohol. They will pump it up in the boot of their car, more than water. So in essence, when somebody is on alcohol, what happened? Arguments, and then what happened? Fighting, hitting, and stuff like that. So what we try to do is we organize so many lectures whereby we talk to parents, we talk to children, we talk to people in the community on how we can resolve matters within family amicably. And not just only that, during COVID as well, we were able to raise money to help. This is not from government, but from a group of members of trustees of across Ummah to help people in the family and people in our community, and not just in England alone, in parts of Africa. Hopefully, we're hoping to extend to other parts of the world. So that is a little bit about across Ummah. And also we help in terms of health as well. Some people, they lost legs, they are stuck in the hospital, they couldn't pay for their bills, because here, I think they're more privileged. But in other parts of the world, you need to cater for yourself. No government is looking after people in other, developing countries. So we've been able to step in to help so many families and touch so many lives and bring smiles into their faces. So that is about across Ummah. And some of the workshops that we've done, okay, these are the previous lectures that we had in this hall. And then some of the COVID chat and stuff that we talk about during COVID and after COVID. So for today's presentation, it's going to be on the topic, as you saw on the flyer, on coping, dealing with adversity, coping strategy for adversity. So I think on the table, we have sheet of paper. I would like to ask each and every one of us, what is adversity? When we talk about adversity, what does that really mean? What does it mean to us? What comes to our mind? Please, if you want to raise up your hand, you can tell me, or if you want to put in the sheet of paper and pass it across to me so that we can have it. So what is adversity? Anyone? Hardship. Yes, that's brilliant. Thank you, sister. Anyone? Adversity? You want to write it down and pass it on? You want to say, what is adversity?
Struggles and difficulties.
Struggle with difficulty. Yeah. Any other person?
Problems in life.
Problems in life. You are all brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, that is adversity, and then it could be trauma. It's a problem. It could be disaster. Natural, these are endless. And it could be bad luck. It could be misfortune, anything that is very unpleasant. As we are made, we always love good things. We don't want anything unpleasant in our life. But things happen for a reason. And sometimes it's cool. It will be birth of a child. Can you imagine? Can you think about that? Even giving birth to a child in some family could be a source of misfortune, could be a source of trauma, could be something that will lead to breakage in family. So may God continue to protect and be with every one of us. So when we talk about adversity, there are different types of adversities. Okay? We have physical adversity. I know I have a lot of football fans in this room. And who is that guy there?
Well,
I know. That's Aguero. What is the current news about Aguero? I'm not very big fan of football, but when you are surrounded by men in your house, somehow they try to pull you into the system, and then you need to know more about football. So what is the recent news about Guerrero?
He played for Barcelona. He moved in some to play for Barcelona.
Good. Is he injured? How? Okay, good. Good. And then what has happened to him?
He has a heart problem, so they've sort of come to him. He can't really play for the next 3 to 4 months, so he was tested.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Mr. Hassan. Thank you very much. Yes, as I said, I was just looking. Oh, this is a big fan of one of my children. What happened? Oh, heart problem. He won't be able to play. That's shocking. Wow, that's kind of adversity. But luckily, even it's going to be paid. But in some people, whereby they are self-employed, if you don't, it's like pay as you go. But in that case, it's like pay as you earn. If you don't go out there to work, money is not coming in. So it can be a sort of adversity. And then who knows that man there? In red, raising up his arm.
Schumacher.
Yeah, thank you. That's Michael Schumacher. Did you know what happened to him?
He had a bad accident, I believe.
And do you know his current state at the moment?
He's still recovering, but he's not really the same person.
It's really sad. It was really shocking news for me when it happened. I felt so affecting that I could feel the pain the family will be going through. All of a sudden, I'm not making mockery of him. Please, I beg your pardon. But it's now like a, vegetable. Oh my goodness. So it's really shocking. I pray God to give him complete healing. So natural disaster happen, things happen for a reason, that's really beyond your control. So then we move to the next one. And then you have mental adversity as well. So in life, we all know we have mood, but sometimes there could be mood swing in us. And then in that case, it's something that has to do with our mental state, how we think, how we relate things. So mental illness such as depression, anxiety will limit our, expectation and how we deal with things in life. So in this case, it's something that is beyond our help. The fact that somebody is looking okay doesn't mean that it's okay. The fact that somebody is looking glamorous doesn't mean that up here is right. So when things happen and we know that, in this aspect, things are not really going on well, if we know we need help, please, we need to seek for help. In life, things is going up and down, and when we know we are down, we need to try as much as possible to push ourselves up there. So seeking help is highly recommended when things happen like that. And it's not just only going to be like, okay, especially we Muslims, we are all like counselors, and then somebody has a problem. Go and pray. Go and pray. You have Allah. You have God. Yes, God will do it for you. Yes, God will do it for us. But at the same time, we need to see it as a holistic approach as well. You need to pray, and at the same time, if you know that you need help, you need someone to talk to, you want to discuss something that is important to you, you need to express it, you need to say it out. Okay, it's something that is very important. So we move on to the next one, which is emotional adversity. This one is also related to, the one that I discussed earlier. But emotional maturity allows us to have productive state of mind. They are somehow related and connected. And it gives us when we have emotional balance in our self, we'll be able to deal with challenges, difficulties that we have with life. So self-worth is vital to develop, as rage and sadness can lead to problems in dealing with daily life. And we need to be able to control our emotions so that our emotions do not control us. We should be able to control our emotions. We shouldn't allow the emotion to override us and take over us. Okay. So we have also social and spiritual adversity. Social adversity, this one is really crucial to our lives. Being limited to social skills can severely limit a person from getting a job, making friends, or maintaining a family unit. Developing this skill can significantly improve our lives. So we have spiritual adversity as well. In this case, talk about faith. You know, as I always tell people that I have never seen a religion that will be so cruel to other humanity. In all religion, we talk about humanity, we talk about helping one another, we talk about being good within our community. So faith in a higher power does not, you know, some people say the same, it's not necessary to be God. I believe in God. Some people, maybe they don't believe in God. But I know in any religion, all we have is to be good within the community. But faith is an advantage in life. It helps when one has hope, compassion, and love for themselves and others to cope with daily life. So we move on to the next slide. So now, this is another cross of the matter, this financial adversity. You know, in my language, they say, if you don't have money, you can't talk. So it's very important. Financial state is very, very important in any family setting. So this may be the most apparent adversity that our society and the rest of the world faces nowadays. But not being able to afford necessity creates a barrier to leading to a happy life and can lead to jealousy and anger sometimes, even within couples. And as we see, I think we went through all these matters with the COVID. Without COVID, these are happening in our daily life, on our day-to-day basis. But with the COVID-19, it came, it overpowered us, we felt so much incapacitated, we couldn't do anything, we couldn't help ourselves. The whole world was in turmoil. Nobody could do anything about it. So it shows, from my background, Islamic perspective, God shows to us that we are nothing. Without Him showing us the way, we cannot do anything. So everybody was powerless, the whole world was shut down. And so big lessons for Africa and for some people that are very rich. In most cases, instead of them to develop the country, to make things better, once some of them have slight headache, they travel out. Have you seen people doing party in the plane before? They have party, they have wedding party in the plane, they buy expensive jets, they do party, they come to England for weekend, but then it was a big lesson for everybody. And that is what it's about in my religion, Islam. Islam, we always say a word, Seni Allah Hamda. Only God that knows the one that worships. So everybody, we are equal in the sight of God. There is no superiority. We are all equal. We are all better. And COVID-19 was not the best. COVID-19 treated everybody equally. So in this room today, we would like to talk about COVID-19. Anyone has matter concerns, I have some of my colleagues here that would like to talk to us in detail about COVID-19. But before going on to that, I will move to the next slide. So why do we experience adversity? Why do we experience adversity? Without looking at this screen, I would like everyone to think, why do we experience adversity?
Build the character, the strength. When you call yourself out of something, you learn lessons as well. And the lessons are very important because that's what Allah wants us to do, is to learn lessons in life in order for growth and spirituality and to tighten your belief in Him as well.
Thank you. That's very good. Very good answer. Is there any other reason? The boss?
To evolve.
To what?
To evolve.
To evolve. I love that word as well. To evolve. Yeah. Sometimes when we have things, we don't really appreciate it. Well, we have time to go out, we have time to visit places, we have time to move around before COVID. You could hug, you could greet one another. People say, give me your, I want to take time with you now. And even in COVID, you can't get closer to anyone. I beg your pardon, please, can you move away? How many times have you been in buses that somebody will become like that? Pam, pam, pam. I beg. I don't want to do that. So it happens, and just happens. So we experience adversity in life, and it's a big lesson. Sometimes you have something, if that thing is not taken away from you, we don't really cherish it. We don't really cherish the time. We don't really cherish the opportunity. Before some of us came in, I think we were showing the video of how some people are fed in Africa. They are homeless. Here, homelessness is another platform because the government will take care of them. But in some parts of the world, they are homeless, they are on their own. Nobody is looking after them. Here in England, we have great children who eat meat. Eat meat. Yes, I'm eating my meat. That's my baby. Eat meat. So, back home in Africa, I don't know, I can't stand. When was the last time some people feed themselves with meat? So, it's an opportunity. It's a great privilege for us that we could afford 3 square meals on daily basis. So adversity plays a vital role in growth and greatness. In simple terms, no adversity, no growth. It's shocking, isn't it? And this is something that I've read so many times in my Quran. But when I was going through this, I was thinking that was harsh. No adversity, no growth. But it's still in the Quran that God says he's going to test us something that we like. And it's true. Is it not true? If you're in classroom, have you seen any school without examination before? Is there any school without examination? Have you heard about that school before? There's no school without examination. You all need to pass through school. I need to write. Because no matter how they like it, they want to test our brain. How much we have up in our brain. How much we are able to absorb. So think about it this way, that in life we need to be tested, and that's what stated in the Quran. God says He's going to test you to see how many of you that really have the belief. But we need to think about it in this way, that it's not because that God doesn't love us, isn't it? And even we might be a very brilliant student in the class, but the teacher will say, okay, I know you're very brilliant. Just move on to the next class. They need to examine us. They need to test how well and how good we are. We need to show it to them and prove it that, oh, we are really worth the promotion. And not only that as well, in the group, sometimes I love the system in Africa, in England. We have different differentiation. That in the class, we have a table, go table, group table. They group the children according to their ability, and without relegating anyone. But you don't. No, we need to help and improve our students, our children as well, according to their strength and ability, without relegation. We try to encourage them, but we shouldn't relegate. Because what I could say within the community is that some parents, they practice so much neuroticism. My children, they always ask me, this one is the favorite. No, I don't have. Because I wouldn't like to be treated that way. And I wasn't even brought up that way. Anyway, we are all equal. You all pass through the same womb. So you are all equal. But admittedly, they are different characters, the way they look, the way they think, the way they act. But it's our duty as parents to support them according to their ability. Because why I'm saying this is that it's because there's something that is called ACE. Some children, they grew up with adversity and now they are stuck. And it's really difficult for them at later age. And at least about 53% of children pass through adversity. So we parents, we shouldn't add on to it. It could be because of the environment where they grew up. It could be, maltreatment within the family, within the neighborhood. It could be all sorts of evil things that we know is not pleasant to children. So as parents, as brothers, as sisters, we need to look after ourselves. We need to look after the people in our community. But we need to start from our home. We shouldn't badmouth our siblings. But be there for them when they need their help. Talk to each other nicely, be good to one another. As husbands as well. We have your wives as the baby making machine. Sorry for the use of word. But then you notice that there will be some changes to the body. I'm so sorry, I think we don't have much men today. We have our youngsters, but not many fathers. So after some time, definitely there'll be change in the body making. So that doesn't mean that we should look down upon them and then start looking elsewhere and looking for another beautiful utterance. So we need to give respect to our women. They carry our children, and then we should be able to look after them as well. So can we go back to this? Sorry. No. Okay, say this one. So that is the question from the Holy Quran. Verily, we have made whatever is on the earth beautiful for us, so that we may test us, which of us are best in this. So move on. And if I say I would like to give you this gold, it's a raw gold. How many of us would like to wear that on their neck? You wouldn't mind, because that's their gold. So long as it's gold, I don't mind. Thank you for that. But if I try to refine it in that form, which one will you prefer? 18 karat. Okay, if I don't even worry, this one is no more than 18 karat. These are, I think, about 22 carats or so. Okay, but if I give you this one, the same weight, and I give you this one, which one will you prefer? For sure, I'm sure you go for that, so long as it's the same weight as this one. But however, this is a raw gold. I wish I had them at my doorstep. Okay, but what happened to this raw gold? In order to carve out this gold, it's a lot of work. Who knows how to process gold? Do you have any idea about gold refinery? Has anybody worked or have any idea about gold refining? I think they have to undergo scorching heat to melt the raw gold and a lot of processes like that. So in that process, what we're trying to do is to refine to this end product that will look very beautiful and appealing. So the same way we should think about adversity in our life. When we're going through stress, difficult time, we know that it's for us to be purified as a book or somebody said, we need to use to purify ourselves. So, and this goes well with one of these great scholars that the soul will never become tired and purified except through undergoing affliction, which happens to become same as gold that can never be pure except after removing all the base metals in it. So we move on to the next slide. So now, how do we find our inner peace? Where is that coming from? Where is our inner peace from? I know my strength, I know my weaknesses. Each and every one of us, we know our strengths, we know our weaknesses as well. Where do you have your solace? How do you connect? When you are having difficulty, how do you resolve it? How? How do we do it? To connect with our God, friends, Facebook, Netflix. How do we deal with our problems? So, this is just a little quotation, and I beg your pardon, I know much about Islam, so I'm relating to you on that platform. So, some quotation that the whole soul in state of inner peace, we should return to our God, whichever religion that you believe in. Or, I don't know, maybe, is there anyone that doesn't believe in religion or God here? So, we need to relate to our God. So enter among the worshippers. It's gone. And then, regime. Enter among my worshippers and enter my paradise. And whenever we are down like that, we should always have the hope that God is looking after us. We never be forsaken. He's always watching over us. He's there for us at any time. All we need to do is to connect. And not, as I said, it's going to be like a holistic approach. You connect to him that way, and at the same time, if you need help, I have members of staff here as well from CRAB, Citizen Advice Bureau, Manchester. So if you have any worries, any concerns, we have so many of them that you can call. Good Samaritan, you can call them 24/7. You won't be judged. And please, let us bear in mind, if you have friends, we need to look after ourselves. If you have family, we need to look after our family. Somebody telling you something important to them, and you are saying, so, that is your problem. So that is what you think is a problem. Ooh. It might mean nothing to us, but it will mean a lot to other people. So let us look after ourselves. Let us have empathy for one another. It's very important. And I think I'm running almost to the end of the. You still have more? And I think I've. So these are some of the ways that we can deal with the challenges in our life. We have the stress there. The thoughts always coming. What is our state of management? How are we controlling our emotions? What is up here? Our well-being. It's always going on and on in a cycle like that. And before I leave the here for one of our staff to come and talk to us, I think I'll just talk a little bit about something. Go back to this. Yes. Okay. Can you see the board, please? There are some things that are within our control, and those are some of our thoughts, how we behave, the decision we make, our attitude, our mood, and the choices we are taking, our work ethic, and our reaction. These are something that we are capable of controlling. We can deal with it among ourselves. And we go outside that cycle. And some things that we can influence in our community or in our household, other choices, actions. Okay? When you're at work, when you can be promoted, how can you influence that? Maybe you do extra work, work tirelessly, and you're always on point, always accurate. Maybe pay increases as well. You can work towards that, you can influence that. And then it's gone again. So I don't know, sorry for that break in transmission all the time. And then whether people like me or not, you can influence that as well. And then at our work of place, our reputation, the company policy. Those are something that we can, influence by our positive attitude. And outside the influence zone are something that just of concern for us, Can anybody change dates? We can't control the weather. Those are some things that are beyond our control that we can't deal with. We can't influence, we can't change them. The economy, the COVID-19, But as it is now with COVID-19, we can influence to a certain extent by trying to, to curtail the spreading of the virus. So I will go to the next point as well, which is called the terrorist box. And what is the terrorist box? This shows a cycle that we are always locked in. For example, maybe I'll give an example. Amelia, maybe one day you will prepare your cereal, and then unfortunately, Nana is ready to go out. But while you're having the cereal, I made a big mess on the new carpet that she bought. Nana, how will you deal with the situation? Now, how will you deal with the scenario?
If she made a mess.
Yes. And then that was a new carpet that you so much cherish. So how will you deal with this situation?
My attitude now is I'll just go and clean it up and hopefully, and inshallah it'll be the best thing, but I can't take it with us.
That's very good.
So it's there.
That's very good. And how will you feel about that, Amelia? You feel good? Or what if Nana saying, Amelia, what did you do? Look at your face. How will you feel? You don't know.
You'd be upset.
Will you be upset? Oh, you'll be upset and no, how can you talk to me like that? I'm sure, isn't it? And then what happened? The ceiling doing it, isn't it? And in the process, while Nana was shouting at the princess, you have an agenda, you have a meeting to attend. Invariably,
might even walk out.
Why
and leave it to the
why
kids
do
to
you want to eat? Okay, and then open your mouth and try to force it. She has a bus that she has to catch to school. And what happened in the process? She missed the bus. And then what are you going to do? You have to attend your meeting. And she has to go to school. In the process, jump in the car. Okay, let me quickly take her to school. And while you are, trying to rush,
when I was a mum, I probably would have been very well. I am a mum still, but when my kids were younger, it probably would have been different.
I know.
But when you become a grandma, you have a lot more patience.
It's always like that, and I think we're all learning. It's a learning process as well.
Yeah,
It's a learning process. Yeah. So the way you would deal with I'm sure her mom would be like, but Nana, but Mom, when I was that age, you wouldn't do that to me.
No, she said to me all the time. Yeah. We wouldn't have got away with that. She does.
So the point I was trying to raise is that, invariably, maybe you have to take care. And we should be fitting into your time there. You need to attend your meeting. And what happened eventually, while you are trying to rush and get to our school, maybe she crossed the traffic light and then bam, camera. And that's another 30 pounds or 45 pounds that you have to pay. And can you see how the plan is getting, overturned? And at the end of the day, you go to the office, you're like, you went to the office, you just zoom past all your colleagues. Untouchable this morning. So important matter that are supposed to be discussed with you, they couldn't do so. And then that may affect the reaction that they will have towards you. And that is just about the Chinese laws. And then the cycle keep on going and on like that if it's not broken. So there must be somebody that will have to step in and say, okay, enough. So let's analyze what is happening. How is your mood? Is anything wrong? But if nobody comes to you and step in like that, can you see how everything is just going to be overturned? and people will have wrong perspective about you, especially if it's a new staff. And they say, first experience will always last longer. So we need to be careful about how we spread rumors among ourselves, among our peers, at our place of work, in our house, and everywhere, and in our community. So that one is similar to the terrorist box as well. And I think on this note as well, I will first of all call on the next presenter, which is Indian to go on to talk to us about her work, which is CAB, Citizen Advisory Group. If you have any concern, any worry, we have a lot of them out there that we can consult, that we can open up to, and matters will be treated, with strict confidentiality. And then after that, we talk about COVID, and then, any one of us that would like to join and be community champions, you are welcome. So, Indian, the floor is yours. And thank you for listening. I will continue after you. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Bounces is the least favorite thing.
Yeah,
I love it.
I can't stand them.
All right. We're gonna have to go, I'm really sorry. It's got an hour to. Please keep me updated. Anything else we can help with? Yeah, no, it's fine. Just keep, even if you want to have another meeting, you're lost. Yeah, brilliant. So yeah, we'll arrange and see how we can do We're gonna start.
MOT service.
Okay, I'll just start. Okay, hello everyone. Hello, lovely to see you all on this Saturday. My name's India Henry and I work for Systems of Advice in Manchester. So before we get started, I always like to say, I'm not an advisor. I work as part of the digital inclusion and engagement teams. So as we go through this presentation, when it decides to wake up, I'll tell you a little bit more about my role and what I do. So myself and my colleague Rosa, we go out across Manchester. So as you know, this is classed as central Manchester, where we are right now. And we go as far as Moston, Harperhay, and Newton Heath and Withenshaw, which is like on the other side of where we are currently. Yes. So, have you ever had a problem that you couldn't fix yourself? Any problem at all? Yeah? Would you like to share?
I was talking to them about actually my car repairs, I guess. Then was yesterday.
Exactly. I think months ago had a leak. I didn't know what to do. I just thought, right, shut the door, leave the house, it'll fix itself. But often, when it comes to certain problems, like where would you go for your help and support? Would you
look online or talk to ask somebody that I know, a friend or family, if they've been in the same situation?
Of course, and I think your first suggestion there about looking online is great. The internet is an amazing thing right now. It's a tool and it's a guide for many of us. However, there are certain problems, if you were to Google them, you have 101, about thousands of responses. If you're anything like me, and you think quick, simple, and easy. So at Citizens Advice, we do advice. So we help people solve their problems in their lives. We also do advocacy. So that means that when certain issues go on, we kind of lobby our government to do more. So one of the best examples would have been tax credit cuts. Due to the pandemic, some people received £20 extra in their benefits. Now, as we're coming out of the pandemic, the government decided to cut that, which meant some people who were already in poverty went deeper and deeper into poverty. So it was our responsibility to help ensure that everyone is seen and heard. So just last year, we helped 50,000 people, and we solved 124,000 problems, and we saved £9 million. So that meant that we increased the income of residents through branch off debts, benefits gained, and consumer complaints. So a consumer complaint is when you make a purchase or if you receive a service that is not up to standard. So our teams at our hub in Manchester will help you get good value for money. And we often do that by reading your rights and also making sure that your voice is heard. So whoever you are, whatever the problem, we can help. And so we can help with welfare benefits, debt and money, housing, energy, employment, consumer, getting online and form filling. So often in the current world that we live in, everything is form. You have to go somewhere or you've got to call someone to get a form to fill in to get help and support. So when we go out into the community and even here today in the library, our advisors will go out and have people complete forms such as Manchester League application forms. So people who are trying to get housing within the city. And you can find our support in many different ways. So for example, you can use telephone to give us a call. You can also do video advice. We also do a WhatsApp and messenger service. Our website also like booking in video appointments. And again, you can also use our website to help find information for yourselves. So it's just www.citizensadvice.org.uk. Or if you want to be more specific, you can type in Manchester as well. So what does being digital mean to you? Does it mean anything at all?
Updated, keeping updated.
Of course, updated, engaged. Could it, so beforehand we spoke about how being online helps you solve certain problems. Could you imagine living in this current day and age without access to the internet or having the confidence to be digital?
Connection, connected.
Of course, and that's connection in every way. You can talk to friends, family, services now. I know a lot of GP surgery have got a book online. If you do not have the tools, the access, or even the confidence to use the internet, you're missed out from a whole world of things that can support you. So lack of digital inclusion means that this can impact your health and your well-being. So due to the pandemic, most of us were forced inside, and some of us that then we had no contact with the outside world. So if you are digitally excluded, that meant that you didn't have access to information, you couldn't check health records, or you couldn't even Google stuff like COVID-19 and things like that. So there's been a lot of misinformation about vaccinations, but also COVID-19 in general, about how it's spread. And for some people, that has festered into their own beliefs. And I think one thing I love about the internet is that it really empowers someone to take control of their own health and well-being. And also, there's studies that have proven those who are digitally excluded actually will pay more for certain things like bills and direct debits. So if you are digitally confident, you can apply for jobs online, but also you can go forward and look at your skill set. So if you're a builder, you can compare how much other builders in your area get. So in a nutshell, being digital means being able to use the computers and the internet, but also to be connected and have access to support services. And if you'd like more support and help, you can visit our centres in Avenue Library, that's on a Tuesday, that's from 9:30 until 1 p.m. Provincial Library on a Wednesday and Monday, 1 till 4:30, or here at Longsight Library from 9:30 to 12:30 p.m. And when the slides do come up, I would like to ask you, when you get a bit more time to be around, you would like to come to my table and just to tell us where you think we should take our service next. So my project is digital inclusion, which means that we want people to feel engaged and connected, and we do it by video advice, just like a WhatsApp call. You can speak to one of our advisors on any problems I've listed before, and we want to know where's best to go in your community. So, sorry about the slides, but I hope I've provided a lot of information about who we are. And any more questions, please just have a chat. Do you have any questions, Matt?
Did you provide laptops during the pandemic to some individuals?
So our partners at Manchester City Council provided a device scheme, and there are still some available, but it's quite minimal. So what we're doing is we're kind of bringing equipment like this into hubs like the library, and he's just left all the time. So that on a certain day, you can come and talk to one of our advisors via video chat. But if you still need help with devices, I can give you contact Manchester City Council as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So maybe if you have any questions or anything, contact India. I think it's right there. So, sorry, it's a technical. I think you said you have enough for today. Well, it's not the beginning, it's just halfway through. I don't know why. So I'll just have a quick run through. But we have a little activity that I would like every one of us to do. On our table, we have a piece of paper. Can we draw 3 dots? In line in 3 rows. 3 dots. Unfortunately, I think we need to confirm at least can you go downstairs? Come and help us. Can you take the bag downstairs? Like, come and help us. So, sorry, don't 3 lines. I hope you can see. So, three dots like that. Something like this. So this is the thing. You need to do your Martin. Have you guys stopped it?
We just put them in.
Okay. And then we're going to draw. Yeah. Now, so you need to join those 3 lines. I mean, if you please tell us what. So they need to join the 3 lines without crossing. So you need to draw 4 straight lines. 4. Yeah, 4 straight lines. This is Four straight line. No more, no less, but you need to join all those 3 dots with 4 straight lines.
Yeah.
All those lines. But you can only use 4 straight lines. Three lines like that. Oh, it's done. But you need to make 4 straight lines. Yeah. Because it seems impossible, but it's possible. So it's not the kind of talent that we want, brain casting. It seems impossible, but it's possible. Have you done it?
Also, the
Okay, yeah, you need to join it with 4 straight lines. You need to join it with 4 straight lines. All of them must be connected with 4 straight lines. You can talk to the guy downstairs. Come and help. Thank you. Anyone that's done? Well, you need to connect all. You need to connect all of them together. So like they give for somebody that one. Connect all those lines. They want to connect it.
I just think, I don't want to think about it.
Oh, wait, no, no, no. No, no, I don't.
Come on, please look outside the box. Look outside the box. You don't need to look inside the box alone.
But I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Like, no.
Realistically, no, but no.
You did
Martina, nice to see you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. So, did you see?
Yeah, we saw,
So, have you seen the answer?
yeah.
So, what can you interrupt from the answer?
There's always.
Yes. So, I found the solution. Find the solution. Okay, guys. Can you? I hope. Who has the answer? I have the answer. No, but my answer. So let's go the matter back home now. So you can see on the board, but I think can you see on the board the solution? So what do you need to do in order for us to collect all those boxes? So in order for us to solve matters in our life, sometimes we need to look beyond the box. But I think what happened was that every one of us was just focused. We need to collect the box. We need to collect without looking beyond that. Oh, this could be done by just extending the line outside the box. You can do, there are many ways of doing it. Can you see? So sometimes in our life, okay, job, so many things happen in COVID. Oh, I don't think I can get out of this. Oh, I'm used to my pattern of life, my work. I can't do anything. Sometimes you don't even know whether just stepping out of what you used to do will be better off. So in our daily life, the moral behind the dot, sometimes we need to look outside the box, okay, for us to get solutions to our life or to anything that are any matters that are of concern or that are really bothering us. So that is the lesson about that. So we'll go to the next one. So resilience in the face of hard work. How to deal with hardship in life. First of all, we need to acknowledge the fact that, oh, this is the cause of the matter. This is the problem here. How can I fix it? How can I solve it? Okay? So the first thing is acceptance. Accepting the situation of things and then try to work right now. And another thing we have to do is about speaking up. You don't need to bottle up. You know what happens when we have Coca-Cola and we shake it? You see how it explodes. So when we have matter bothering us, we have problem. You have anything to say? Do you want to say anything? Okay. Okay, when we have any matter or anything that is of concern, we need to speak. And on that note, I need to encourage every one of us. We need what we went through with COVID. And the government said enough is enough. They don't want anyone to bottle up ideas, worries, but they need to speak up. Maybe jargons, it might be anything, but speak. What really matters to you? And on that, before I called my team, Gadi, to come and talk to us about Community Champions, which is a program that I'm working with, about what really matters to us about COVID, for us to express ourselves, any matters, any concern towards vaccination, or anything that is really bothering us. We don't need to bottle up. We need to talk. We need to express ourselves. But I have another important person among us today. We used to be Imam of MRI. Imam means the chaplain. Sorry, I don't know my pronunciation for MRI. So it's one of the leaders, and it's one of the first people that took the vaccination in MRI. And I would like to call him to come and have about a quick chat, 10 minutes maximum with us. Exactly what is causing your feeling. Make time for yourself. Exercise as well. You need to eat right. You need to sleep well, and then ask for help. So on that, I'll ask Imam to please come and tell us Why did you take the vaccination? Why did you not wait for some time? Why did you surrender yourself? That, okay, this is the vaccine. Why the whole world was still waiting? And he said, fine, come on, give me the vaccination. I'm ready. And he's still here today. Anyway. So thank you, Imam Sadiq.
Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon. My name is Imam Sadiq, and I, not too far off, I work as the chaplain at the whole Manchester Foundation, which seems to be getting bigger and bigger all the time. So it was just MRI and the children's and St. Mary's, and now it's also North Manchester, South Manchester, and also Trafford. So there's about 10. So today I am on call. So if this phone does go, I'm going to have to go. Okay, because it is probably some emergency. We already had one from North Manchester this morning at 7:30. So hopefully I won't be called out. If I do, please do. I do. Okay, first of all, I'm very grateful and thankful for you, and very honored actually to be with you all today, just for these few minutes. And when our Sister Khadija asked me to speak, I have spoken on a different topic with the charity before. I thought it's a good idea. It's a good idea, and it's something we can come and share just my thoughts. So I wanted to just briefly touch upon just three little points. The first one, I think, is going on to what you said with regard to the impact of COVID on the digital world. So my first-hand experiences. So over the last 2 years, this has been unprecedented, I think, definitely for us, but probably even in human history. What the entire world, as we know it, grinding to a halt. What we thought we knew of this world, and every basic ideal we had was probably challenged. What had happened? And working on the front line, working at the hospital, that was an amazing privilege, but it was also an eye-opener. So I still remember, and it was also something that was personal for myself, because every one of us, I'm sure, has definitely been affected by COVID. We have lost loved ones, who we know of people who have lost loved ones. And I still remember when, the first wave hit in March last year, which wasn't too bad, relatively speaking. And then the second wave, which was terrible, absolutely terrible. I remember walking across the corridors and literally patients, dying with no family around. I mean, that was one of the most difficult, challenging moments in my entire, I think now I'm chaplain for over more than a decade at a different hospital, but that was something that, was very, very difficult. I still remember just one incident I would like to share with you, where we had a call from a son who's saying, look, my mom is in the hospital, I can't visit, right? If I do visit and she's end of life, can you be with her during the last moments of her life? And the reason I can't visit is if I do visit, I won't be able to go for the funeral because then I need to isolate. Imagine this horrible choice. Shall I be with my mom during her last moments? Or should I sacrifice that and go for her funeral? At least it's only one of the two I can do. So it was a definite honor, and we are absolutely humbled to be able to be there when the loved ones and near and dear ones could not be there. And we did it because we thought it was the right thing to do. We lost many of our own colleagues during this journey. And we saw this because we were the ones also who went to the graveyard to bury many of our own colleagues. That leads on to the second point. The second point is about vaccination. So when the vaccination program started, it was very earlier on. And I thought to myself, look, I am an imam in the community, And there's still a lot of people who are asking whether to vaccinate or not. What should I do? I thought, no, I'll go for it. And I still remember having this conversation with my own family. Why do you want to do it first? Let somebody else do it. See how they go. And then you do it. If something happens, you know. But I thought, is that the right way? We are all in it together, aren't we? Somebody's going to go first. Somebody's going to go second. Yeah. So I suppose I wear this as a badge of honor. I was one of the very, very first people to be vaccinated in the whole country. And I'm triple vaccinated, not even double. So there's a triple one. Now, yes, this is your choice. Whether you wish to be vaccinated, I'm not here to tell you whether you wish to or you don't. But I do think, I do give it good thought if you've not already been vaccinated. And also think about it. That look, maybe a lot of you are definitely look much, much younger than me. I'm probably the oldest in this room. But, you know, think about the effect on yourself and also the impact on your loved ones. Because there is a definite link, and this is what we are seeing in the hospital. This is a fact, that link between the vaccination, as the vaccination has gone up, and what we see in the hospital has been broken. So how many people are coming into was it on Friday? I was called up to our own ICU. And for the first time now in months, you know, the consultant was saying to me, now at least we have 2 green bays meaning non-COVID at all. We just have one COVID bay in the middle, and the others are okay. So so what I would say to you that personally, I thought it is the right thing to do. And yes, you have your own thoughts, and you are entitled to have your own thoughts, I think. But I'm sure there will be those, and if there are any questions, I'm no expert, but if there are any questions, let us absolutely ask me, and we will share this journey together. One other point I want to pick up when I was listening to the previous was how it came to our aid, the digital world. So where we couldn't get the families in, we could at least get them to see the videos of their loved ones, as many of them did not go home after that. So the last you see is your mom or your dad, and for 2 weeks you can't see them. The only thing you see later on is them at the. So this was I think, the 2 or 3 points I wanted to share. Very briefly, a bit about the experiences around COVID and how difficult it was, and it is still with everybody. The second one with regard to vaccinations. And Lydia asked me, why did I get vaccinated? I thought it was the right thing to do. As a Muslim, from an Islamic perspective, I researched it, and I could not find why it was not permissible. It was definitely, in my opinion, recommended, and this is something I think you should definitely think about if you have not already been vaccinated. And if you have, well and good, encourage others also. And this is what I just wanted to share. Any questions, comments, criticism, and open to. Is that okay, Khadija?
Thank you very much, Ma'am Sali. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Very hard to guess. So I think you feel very much privileged to have him on our gathering today. Thank you. Thank you for your work and setting humanity. So that is it about resilience. And as Imam said, that we need to make the informed decision about ourselves, whether we want to take the vaccination or not. But I think he left us with the note that he thought it was the right thing to do. Okay? So all this myths going about the COVID-19 is not for Asian people, it's not for Black people. I think it's not the right thinking. We need to think twice whether we want to save our life, we want to save the life of people within our community. And I think we all know that we're trying to save humanity, as I said earlier on in the previous slide. So we need to think about it, make our informed decision, and take the vaccination. All those myths are not right and are not correct in any form at all. And unfortunately, I invited some people that had long COVID to come and tell us about the experiences they had while they were in the ICU. And I invited another consultant in ICU, but unfortunately, she had to be in the hospital today. She couldn't join us. So there are so many cancellations today, and that's why you see the hall a little bit empty for today. But hopefully next time they'll be able to join us. So we move on to the next slide before I call Claudia to come and talk to us about the community champions. The community champions, as you see, is the name, serving the community. You want to be part of the program? You want to talk about what really matters to you? We need the people that can engage in the chat and that can talk about it. And but Cody will be telling you more in detail about the work. She's my colleague. I work for Cody as well. So I will call on Cody in a couple of minutes. So I'll quickly run over the remaining slides of my presentation. So adversity, back onto the topic. So what are the ways and how are people, successful people, push through adversity? Okay? We need to acknowledge in the previous slide, and then we need to seek for help. And another thing we can do as well is that we need to find our sense of humor. How many parents are in this room? Some parents, when they get into the house, what happens? The children, oh, that is there. Up. No contact. And that is upset. Down. No tangents, is it? They never cross one spot. So are we any type of parents like that in this hall today? So if you have that kind of attitude, or husband to wife, or wife to husband, when you are in the room, the mood just changes. When you are there, the lights in the room just disappear. So we need to think about what we are doing to ourselves. How are we dealing with our families? What are we doing? Or we're the type, that kind of husband that you work, you earn so much, but then your wife and children, they're not enjoying the money that you earn. Which kind of husband are we? We need to think twice. And eventually, I got to know someone. He had a lot of money. When the wife always asks, do you have any money? No, I don't have any money. And one day he was counting this money. Counting and counting. In the process, he fell. The wife came inside. Hey, look at this man. And he told me, and look at the money. And in the process, I was just thinking that, assuming this man passed out and he died in the process, who is going to enjoy the money? So we need to think twice. How are we dealing with our family? How are we dealing with our children? And I said earlier, are we the type of parents that do favoritism? That a child is better, we think a child is better than the rest of the children in the house? Do we realize we are putting the life of that particular child into danger? You know the amount of stress that child will grow up with. So we need to change our orientation, and we need to change. And that's why I told you earlier on that we need to think outside the box. We need to be culturally connected, but some things are within our culture that are not good. You know, we need to really try to get rid of all these kind of cultural settings that are impairing the psychological aspects of our children, of our wives, of our husband as well. Because sometimes it could be a woman that is a bully in any relationship. It's not only men. So we women as well, we need to caution ourselves. We need to think about what we are doing at any point in time. So, well, back onto the topic, let's find our sense of humor. Sense of humor. We are coming from, remember the Otari sports that we mentioned in the previous slide. So we need to make sure that anywhere we are, we put lights on. We shouldn't short lights. So let people connect with us peacefully, and then we try to create, sorry, someone, are you going on? You please help me to give something. Thank you. So we need to find our sense of humor. We need to be mentally prepared for that we want to do. And then adversity offers valuable insights as well. So that's another thing that we need to think of. And we need to make peace in the situation. We need to embrace the adversity as a chance for opportunity. I would say with this COVID, there is okay, COVID. Some people are already millionaires because of COVID. I read about a couple, I forgot their name. They started making handgel, and as a process, they're already millionaires. So we need to think fast and think positively. And then we need to take stock of all we've been doing already. There are some that we need to check, and there are some that we need to embrace. So let's refuse to give up in any matter that we do. And we need to have a purpose, positive purpose of life. It's going to transform things, and it's going to connect us and prepare us positively. So, and I think that's the last end of the slide. See how more? I think I need to stop there. So I will end up with there's some things that we have to do, but we do that later. With this quotation from so we should never lose ourselves about the past. The past has gone and it has gone. And you should not lose yourself in the future. The future that you are still thinking, oh, it's coming, it's coming. When I have money, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that. You need to think about the present and enjoy the present. So do not get caught in your anger and worries or fear. Come back to the present moment. The present moment really matters and touch life. This is mindfulness. So I leave this platform for one of my colleagues, Dolly, to come and talk to us about the Community Champion, which is a program that we are promoting and how we could all be involved. It's a community champion, it's a voluntary action that we encourage all of us to engage with, to talk within our community, our family, school, colleges, place of work about COVID. So I call on everybody to please come and talk to us about the community champions and what we are doing and what we've done so far. Thank you, Doctor.
Do you just want to have a little comfort break or talk amongst yourselves just while we get this presentation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you short. Is there anyone in the room that needs food or that knows someone that is really in need of food for their family? So I have this young woman here that, they're doing a project whereby they supply food for people that are adversely affected by COVID. So you know of any family?
It's just a
Can you give us your number?
Yeah. Well, I don't really work for personally. All you do is on Saturday, it's on Open Kitchen. You turn up, there's a banner, pink banner across the road, and about 6 o'clock you turn up, and you get fruit and veg, and you get like other
Yeah,
essential.
but we need your number.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Maybe anybody.
You turn up and then, yeah, I don't want complications, it's just straightforward. You turn up, you just give me
I
name
know,
and
show
postcode.
me the place now.
I'm going to just set up now because the food's come from Fair Share. So I don't know if anybody's heard of Fair Share, they provide the food. It's a charity. So the food's got arrived now and I need to pack it now. So I have to leave now. So
Thank you very much. It's nice for you to attend to our program today. Thank you very much. And I hope you will.
I saw it on.
But you need to give me your number.
No, what's the, I saw this advertising.
Okay, if we just get started, thank you very much for inviting me today. I've come with a team actually, so I work for somewhere called Manchester Health and Care Commissioning, which is like a mix of the council and the NHS. And I'm COVID chat volunteer coordinator, and there's Kendra, who's in the same team as me, and Idalan, and also Niall, who works for Black Health Agency, and Hanif at the back there, who works for Ethnic Health Forum. There's quite a lot of us. We're called COVID chat volunteer coordinators. And there's just a few things we'd like to speak to you about today. One is to give you an overview of the programme and what its aims are, why it was set up, who's behind it, what we want to achieve. We also want to talk about how you can join, because we're looking for volunteers. And also we'd like to do some COVID capture. So we heard from the Ummah just how difficult it was for people in the last 2 years coping with COVID. We know people that have lost loved ones, people have lost their jobs, people have struggled financially, which is why we've got services like CFE set up. There's all sorts of adversity that people have experienced, and there's different ways in which they're trying to overcome that adversity. This programme is just one way of being able to pick up on those experiences and bring them back into big services like the NHS and the council, so they can make a difference. That's the hope. These differences that we all look for, particularly from public services, they don't always happen straight away. It can take time. But this programme is trying to get the evidence of those experiences. That's why it's important. So the focus of the programme is to work with people that have been worst hit by COVID. And those communities are Black African, Black Caribbean, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, and disabled people. Why these groups? Some of the reasons before we had the vaccination was because a lot of people from these ethnicities especially were in a lot of frontline work. So they were working in the health service, working in retail, working as taxi drivers, bus drivers, and shops. So they were coming into contact with
virus. And also, we know that our families, we have quite big families. We live in homes where people are in contact. So the virus was able to spread. And there's other reasons too. What the data is telling us is that these groups were hit the hardest and they needed a different kind of service. So when we think about health and we think about equal opportunities, sometimes the approach of give everybody the same thing, that's going to help to make a difference. That doesn't always work because people need different things. They need different approaches. And we need to understand what those approaches are. Manchester, the rate of transmission of the virus in Manchester is quite high. And the wards that we focus on, they're listed here. So they're wards like Cheetham Council, Hyde Lakely, Harper Hay. In East Manchester is Clayton Lincolnshire. Here in the south and in central, it's Longsight, Leicester, Rusholme, Moss Side, Hugh, and Valley Range. The idea of the chats is that we want to listen to people. That's central to our programme. We want to value people and show respect. The reason we want to do this is because we know there's been a lot of mistrust in the past. People don't always trust services. They feel like they've been let down. They've big experiences of discrimination and racism. We haven't all had the same life chances from the start of life. Lots of reasons like that. And so it's important that we try and build relationships with people so we can listen to them, talk to them. And as we come out of the pandemic and we come into a recovery phase, those relationships can hopefully go on to inform wider concerns around health. So our COVID chat champions, they're based in different settings in the communities. So they're based in schools, in places of worship like mosques or gurdwaras or churches. They are connected in linked to GP practices. They're people who work with the communities that I've talked about, or there might be people from those communities, because we know that people listen to their peers. They listen, they have a trust in health professionals and schools and teaching staff, but they will also be open to influence from their friends and maybe their family members. We invite people to come onto a 2.5-hour training session that's delivered online. That training session gives people an idea of the background to the programme and how to have what we call a person-centred chat. That means it's very much based on the person. You listen to what their concerns are, what's important to them. Don't tell them what to do. If they've got the wrong information, you know there's been a lot of misinformation about COVID. Through this programme, we try and give people reliable information that can help them to make informed choices, whether that's about the vaccine or about when to go to get the help that they need to be able to live safely with COVID. This is our COVID capture form. It's an online form. If you want to join the programme, I've got it on my phone. I'm hoping that after this talk, me and some of my colleagues can come and do some COVID capture with you. It's just some simple questions, it doesn't need your name. It's just about, we kind of need to know the area that people live in so we know where the need is. And then we ask simple questions about the vaccine and also about the impact that COVID has had on people's lives. From the forms, so far that we've completed. Some of the things that we're learning is that it might not come as a surprise, but COVID has had a big effect on people's mental health. Young people have told us that they missed out on education. That people have different experiences about that. There's been a lot of poverty as a result of COVID. People have lost their work, people have struggled financially. There's been a lot of racism, a lot of the experiences of how racism works institutionally. That's something that's come more into focus in the last couple of years. And also there's been a lot of grief because there's been a lot of loss in our communities. We've lost loved ones. And also there's been a feeling about the vaccine not being safe, or fearing side effects from the vaccine, or the long-term effects of the vaccine. A lot of those questions have meant that people are looking for answers. Sometimes they've gone to the wrong places to get those answers. Through the COVID chat programme, we hope to give people the information that's more reliable and from trusted sources. Yeah, that's just some of the other things that have come up in response to COVID-19 vaccine. So some, women who are pregnant or breastfeeding, they've thought that the vaccine might harm their unborn baby. People have thought that it's been against their religion, or they've just had a big mistrust in services. In terms of our progress and where we've been doing our chats, so we've gone into schools, we've set up in parks alongside other public services, we've gone into gurdwaras and outside mosques where there's been vaccinations being delivered, or sometimes LFT pop-ups. So the testing kit that we do at home, we've been giving those out to people as they've gone to the mosque or the gurdwara, to tell them how to do the test if they need that, or just tell them where they can go and get tested. There's also some of our partners, they run like coffee mornings, chai and chat, walking groups, and in those spaces, COVID chatters would just speak really, just in a kind of really normal way to people, ask them how they are, ask them how they've been, what they're feeling now, what they're feeling about the future. If people don't want to speak about COVID, we don't force anybody to do that. If people ask for information, we can provide that. And like I said, the COVID capture is a way that we can record what's important to people about COVID. We've had over, how many chats is it now, Andrew? It's about 4,000 since we made this presentation, which wasn't that long ago. And we've got 100 champions from lots of diverse communities. One of the things that we want to try and achieve through the programme is for our volunteers to be from lots of different backgrounds and to be able to speak the languages that are spoken in the communities that we're trying to reach. So these are just some of, so I'll just share some pictures. This is our team in Whitman Park back in September at a lateral flow. We spoke to students and lots of passing public, handing out lateral flow tests and just information about COVID. This is Idao at the bottom here at a mosque, and then this is a China chat session. Another one here in Harper and in Cheetham Hill. So when we were in these areas, we kind of go out to shops, whether they're barbers or retail shops, and just give things out around the lateral flow tests or little flyers about the vaccine. And we do this alongside our volunteers. And then we were at Park Life in September. So there were loads and loads of young people there that we spoke to as they were getting ready to dance and do all sorts of things. And then over here in Charlestown and in that Anna, who are based in Longsight, and they a lot of work with Bangladeshi women. So slowly we're trying to grow our community of champions. I would love it if any of you would like to join. This is our work in schools where we've gone to parents and joined other services there. We will with CAB and BIFA and some other council run services. And we spoke to parents about lots of things to do with COVID health. This is just a try and chat session that I mentioned that happens here in Longsight and Levenshulme. And it's something called Shalene that runs those sessions. Those are for women only, but there's going to be some new ones opening up for men. I think women-only spaces and men-only spaces generate a different kind of conversation that don't always happen in their mixed setting, which is really interesting. When you do training, one of our partners is Manchester Adult Education Service. They run the COVID chat training. It's online, 2.5 hours, one session a week. But if people want to do it in person with their friends or in a group, then those tutors from Manchester Adult Education can come out and do like a bespoke session with people. And then give people a link to the resources where there's a lot more information that you can share with people. And there's different campaigns that we're always trying to communicate to people as well. Like winter's coming up, the flu vax is important that people take that and the booster. And also, you know, for older people in our community, the winter can be particularly hard because of the weather and their homes. It means that, you know, people are trying to cut back, so they may not put the heating on as much, but then that leads to problems. So there's all kinds of campaigns that come out of the council to be able to support people in their homes. And this is one way that we can share those messages. Okay, and that's the end of my little presentation. So there's a little flyer that tells you more about how you can get involved in the volunteering. And then if you wanted to have a COVID chat with somebody, this is the kind of postcard that we use to promote that. So we ask people, what is it? What's their concern about COVID? What language would they like to speak to somebody in? And would they like that to be on the telephone or online or in person? So those are the 3 ways that we're trying to develop our COVID chats at the moment. I hope that's given you a good overview of the process. Does anybody have any questions or any suggestions or feedback? Okay.
Could I walk into get vaccinated?
Do you walk it? So the vaccination centres, there was a lot more until a few months ago, and now they've kind of really cut back. So I think most of them you might have to quite frequently. So the best number to call is 119 to double check whether you can go in without an appointment. There was a time before there were lots of walk-in clinics that you could just go to. I know that there's still one on Willington Road, which is in Wally Range, that's just outside the chemist. So you could just go there and get vaccinated there.
Yeah, I think there's a few clinics on Monday, Tuesday, Sunday. We can take a picture, Wally Range and Beach Road. So there's a couple of, you can just go and just get a cab, just with the idea. You can take a picture.
There's another one, James Center, down the other side of the road, when you're going towards Lewiston. James Center. Very close to the answer. Yeah.
There's a full list on the .gov website. All the areas where the vaccination centre. Fine. So I was going to ask, so what can we learn from your approach to the project going forward? What can people like myself do to adapt to this model? I think if whilst you're doing your work, if people come into you and want some advice, if you think that they have specific questions about COVID or about the way that COVID has kind of affected them in the last couple of years, and they wanted to speak in a bit more detail, so I know there's quite a lot of overlap maybe in what you're doing. You might just say, do you want to have a COVID chat? I'm in touch with the team, I know them, and they just need to, we literally just need their name and their number, and whether they want to chat in English or another language. If we've got volunteers in that language, then we can meet them. Is there any more questions? Is there any, if any of you would like, I'm not going to put anybody on the spot, but if you'd like to join the program volunteer, there's quite a lot of us here that you can tell, and we can just take your details and tell you when the next training is. But if you would be looking for us to just come around and do a bit of COVID capture, that would be really, really good, because we've got a range of ages here. And it's always good to get this feedback. So does that sound all right? Yeah? Should we tell you? Yeah, we'll do that. So have you got your form? I don't know where it is. So, Neil was Australia in the coach.
Yeah, everyone feel free to talk amongst yourself. If you want to have a COVID conversation, there's plenty of people you can go have a conversation with. Yeah, just talk.
Thank you, God. Thank you for that beautiful presentation. Guys, can we continue? Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your time and thank you for your patience. You've already been wonderful. Let's eat this thing.
I think it's very important to have. I think it has to be
So if you have anything that you would like to discuss, or anything of health briefing, we have 3 doctors in this room. As you see now, so if you want to discuss anything, or you want to ask anything from CAB, Citizen Advisor, Indian is still here at the moment, and we would like to talk about health, any issues, restlessness, sleeplessness, any mental issue or things like that. We have a GP and 2 GP registrars in the room. So, head start, COVID checks, CAB advice or things like that. And even in terms of cooking as well. A lot of we have and in terms of disability and stuff like that, I have another guest of honor here today. And in terms of Jerry, ladies and gentlemen, we have LFC here. Anybody needs some? So, free of charge. Don't need to pay a penny.
Oh, you get wrong, you get the account back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We don't normally do this, but because we like to say, ladies and gentlemen.
As you all know, it takes a lot of money to run a charity. So if anyone is willing to donate just some coin, we've got some pockets and the best Nigerian jollof, just £1 a piece if you're interested. So it's just only by the door, the same place. You can just drop your pound and take whichever you want.
So it never happens, and I'm sure it never happens. It always is free. But we like to get charity registered properly, and in that we need about £5,000 in order to go to Asian language. So in order to do that, we're trying to raise money for the charity, and our doctors are
Thank you very much.
YouTube. Don't end it, Rossi. The last one. No, it's not.